Speaking of our friends, I want to talk about this thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Take it out. Whip it out.
I don't like any of those.
You want me to whip it out?
Yeah, I'm good.
So we have been friends with people at LaserMax. And I know I showed you a CROSMAN box. Trust me, it all connects. I'm getting to it. We have been friends with people at LaserMax pretty much the whole time we've been open.
Yeah.
Like very soon in our opening, we were approached by them, and they used to do a lot of testing here. So I was very impressed with this. I don't know if this is like standard in the industry or they just really wanted to make sure because of what they were selling. For those of you that don't know, LaserMax makes lasers that you could put on your gun. Their claim to fame, what really made them famous was this guide rod laser. So the big negative of a laser is generally it hangs off the gun. And now if you want to holster that gun, you got to buy a holster specific to that laser or with that, gun and the laser combo. Not the easiest thing to find. And it adds bulk to the gun. It makes it harder to hold, blah, 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 right? So two professors at RIT actually invented this laser aiming module, right? And it would replace the guide rod of your laser. So you could or your gun. So you could take your Glock, you could take, your Beretta, you can take all sorts of different firearm models. They made hundreds of different versions of these things. You would take out your factory one, and the batteries and everything would fit in that, factory area of your gun. So when you assembled this thing, it was the same size gun. You really wouldn't even know it was there, except you'd look right where that little, where that item is, and you could see the little lens of the laser. So they made those. They made them right here in Rochester for, say, from the 90s through up until 5 or 6 years ago, maybe. And they did a lot of testing. So they would come down here, and people that still come down here and are very good friends of ours now would come down here, and they'd bring down a certain gun. Got to test these out, new model, whatever. We got
rigorous testing.
We got to do every batch. We got to take one out at random and just put 500 rounds through it or whatever.
Dozens of thousands.
Yeah. Didn't we have to shoot 5,000 rounds of 40 cal once? Because they were down a shooter, and they were just we need this done ASAP.
Can you help us?
So eventually they started getting some pretty cool military contracts, which none of us can talk about. But needless to say, some pretty cool innovation once again was happening here in Rochester. And they split the company. And there's a LaserMax Defense, and they handle Secret Squirrel Army contracts for stuff. And then there's LaserMax the civilian side and the commercial products that are still around. So that half of the company, the civilian side, got bought by CROSMAN. I don't know if it was 5 years ago, but something like that. Yeah, got bought by CROSMAN, another local legend. If you didn't already know, CROSMAN was from Rochester. They're down in Bloomfield now, just down the road, not too far away. And brought them on board. CROSMAN's owned by a big conglomerate called Velocity. They own a bunch of different brands, right? And so they'd been around. They were doing their thing. And we got contacted by them. They just wanted to sell off a ton of their pistols, which now that the news is broken that CROSMAN's gotten bought by Daisy, that kind of made a lot of sense. They wanted to kind of clean house, whatever. Yeah. So we ended up buying quite a few handguns and other accessories and guns in a big bulk purchase from CROSMAN / LaserMax. And we were dealing with some of the executives of their parent company, Velocity. And, the industry is small, and we're all into the same type of stuff. And so one of them stopped out last night, actually, and brought us, this is a 100th anniversary of CROSMAN. They were founded in 1923, which is pretty incredible. Been around for over 100 years. And this is one of their iconic, it's the 362. It's a variable pump. A lot of us had these or something very similar to these as kids. I know, I almost don't want to take it out. But this was a limited run. They only made 2,023 of them. And we have number 1,130. So a pretty cool commemorative. There we go. Look at that. So you pull this thing out, you
Yeah.
pump it up, right? And I think this one, a single shot. You put your one shot in there. It's got these nice target sights, and I was blown away. Not only did we receive one of these, which these are pretty cool, right, and pretty rare. I think they, for the most part, went to collectors right away.
Yeah.
They actually had this engraved. It's hard, you're not going to be able to see it, but it says the firing pin right on the barrel in the same engraving that the rest of it's done in. So that's pretty cool. There's this cool medallion on it of 100 years of CROSMAN. And yeah, it's just, a fun thing. We're going to put this in the museum for sure and hang it up proudly and
I
display.
want one of those. They're so cool.
They are super cool. I bet you can get some good velocities out of this too. We should actually shoot it. Be the only ones that actually shoot.
We figure out how to get a couple more so we can shoot one and